The cost of living adjustment on your Social Security and your federal pension, those numbers have just been announced. To cut right to it, on Social Security, your benefits are going to be going up by 2.8%. If you are a retired federal employee, your pension will go up by 2%. Now, not all feds actually get this cost of living adjustment on their pension, however. Just some of you do, depending on your age and different factors, which we'll talk about. Now, let's talk about exactly how this is going to look like for you. So, like I mentioned, Social Security, if you're already taking Social Security, you're going to get an increase of 2.8% starting in 2026. Your pension, federal pension, is going to increase by 2%. We'll talk about in just a second why this is not as much as Social Security. It does lag inflation by a little bit, which we'll talk about. And if you're getting the FERS supplement, that gets zero cost of living adjustments. It never gets cost of living adjustments. Your supplement is fixed as is. All right. Now, the supplement does go away at 62. I've got whole videos on the first supplement if you want to know more about that. But long story short, the supplement never gets cost of living adjustments. And you probably know this, but as a federal employee, before age 62, you actually get zero cost of living adjustment. So if you retire, let's say you're 58 years old, your pension does not get this 2% increase. You only start getting the cost of living increases starting at 62. The only exception to this is if you're a special provision federal employee like law enforcement, air traffic control, firefighter. You folks actually get cost of living adjustments before 62 on your pension, but normal feds do not. Okay? So as a recap, if you're over 62 and a normal Fed, you will get a 2% increase on your pension. If you're on Social Security, you're going to get a 2.8%. But if you are a normal Fed below 62, you're not going to get any increase to your pension starting 2026 unless you are a special provision federal employee. Now, what happens if you retire partway through the year? Like this year, for example, so many of you have retired 9/30 and different times throughout the year. And if you're over 62, if you're eligible for this COLA, then the amount of the COLA you're going to get is going to be prorated based on how much of the year you were retired. All right. If you weren't retired for the entire year, you're not going to get the entire COLA. Okay. Now let's talk about why the COLA for your pension is not as big as the COLA for Social Security. And this is why. Basically, if prices go up by an amount between 0 and 2%, then you will get the same cost of living as Social Security. So, for example, if Social Security had gone up by 2%, you would have got 2% as well. However, the moment prices start going up above 2% per year, 2% increase per year, then your federal pension starts to lag just a bit. Excuse me. So, for example, this year, the cost of living for Social Security was 2.8%, which falls in between 2 and 3%. Whenever that happens, then you're going to get a flat 2% increase, which is exactly what's happening this year. And if inflation is above 3%, you're going to get whatever inflation is minus 1%. So if inflation, let's say, is 5%, then your Social Security benefits would go up by 5%, but your pension would only go up by 4%. That is how it works. Now, people ask all the time, it's like, okay, well, how can I be prepared if my pension is not going to be going up as fast as inflation? How can I be prepared if my pension doesn't get any cost of living adjustments until 62? What can I do to actually be prepared for this? And at the end of the day, it's all about margin. You've got to have wiggle room in your plan. If you're right on the edge where your pension and retirement income sources and TSP gives you just enough income where you're barely comfortable in retirement, then being able to replicate that into retirement may be doable for a little bit, but what happens if you don't get cost of living? Things don't keep up exactly. That can be very, very painful, and you want to make sure you're able to keep up with this every step of the way. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll keep you updated as we get more information about how your benefits as federal employees are changing over time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.